Hey, what's up guys? Max here. Let's talk about the actual no change to the Serpent. So a lot of us were expecting some slight nerf to the Serpent on his defense. So he's established himself to be one of the most annoying defenders, combined with a mix of nodes. He's just very hard, you know, specifically around Battlegrounds, the game mode that I play the most. I've come to face him a ton over the last season, and even this season he's still somewhat annoying but more manageable. Now Kabam makes reference here to 4 different champions that he can be used for when it comes to Battlegrounds. Successfully, actually last season, Chavez. And for me, also, I think where is it? In the comments here, they make reference here at the, so they do talk about the power game, the Pierce, which was the most annoying part of them. But yeah, last season, American Chavez and Kushala. American Chavez mainly was a good option. Kushala, not so much. You had to perfectly play the fight and had to get good AI. Symbiote Supreme and Wiccan were options, but Wiccan more like so. Symbiote Supreme, not so much, maybe because I didn't have them or ranked them up. But these were options mentioned here in this post that Kabam's saying, hey, these are options you can do. So 4 champions at the moment that can take on the Serpent, that from Kabam's view. Now, to me, like I said, last season, it was only 2. The Serpent is very annoying. He's an annoying defender. I've said it before. When it comes to defenders, Kabam has to keep them up. There's a need for these top defenders. There's a need for defenders, big defenders in general. If there's no defenders, there's no hard champions for us to fight up against, then the game gets stale, the game gets really boring, and we just kind of move on and just like we just demolish everything, you know? And that's why the argument is that top defenders are needed, but sometimes it gets too OP that becomes very frustrating and annoying, you know, and stuff like that has also been a matter of time before we start figuring out how to fight these champions. And once we figure completely out the mechanics and everything of the champion, most champions become kind of, you know, bearable, you know. So but when it comes to the Serpent, he's been really annoying and really tough, and he's just caused a lot of headaches. And whether you draft them specifically in Battlegrounds and your opponent does, you ban the opponent's 1 or 2 counters to the Serpent, and you're just like, go, drafted him, and your opponent doesn't ban the Serpent because he feels confident that he's going to grab one of those 2 champions, then they're having a hard time, you know. You pretty much get a win if that's how it kind of unfolds the fight. And so because of that, I think most of us have always kind of wondered, hey, once the balancing time comes for the Serpent, he's probably for sure gonna get nerfed a little bit, you know. Not completely, like for example the Bullseye example, he got nerfed a little bit, just enough that we can now use more champions to take him down. And I think that's what we were expecting. That's what we were expecting for the Serpent, and us getting this response from the balancing team yesterday kind of doesn't sit well with the community. It really feels like
I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Yeah, a little bit of that, you know. So I've also read some comments, some screenshots floating around already. Like if you end up going into the forums, well, actually these were from Discord. Kabam has a Discord if you weren't aware of this, and apparently like people were voicing their opinions a little bit too strongly, that Kabam felt like they were being attacked. Specifically, these individuals were being attacked, so people we got a little bit of a timeout, you know. And I think you know, I don't know, that is another topic to discuss, and we can grab a bunch of proof over the mixture of the forums and also on Discord. Be respectful of these individuals, you know, they're peoples, and they have feelings just like you do, and you're very high and strong at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. It's being handled, and hopefully we get a response back from the team over there at Kabam and sees, okay, maybe let's do this little change to please the community. You know, I know a lot of the players, okay, here's the other side of things. There's 2 sides of things. Here, let's talk about it really quick. If you've invested a lot of monies into the Serpent. At the moment, you have to. You at least have to buy the early access bundle for $100 to get this guy, get him ascended, and put him in your deck. That's already $100 invested. But let's say you're just the player that's like, you know what, the 6-star is cool, ascended is cool, but I want a 7-star. And you've gone ahead and invested for the 7-star and awaken and try to get him as high sig and throw signatures and sig stones into him. You're probably invested, whether it's hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, and at times we're talking like $2,000 to like $7,000 on one specific single champion, maybe even slightly more, to get him as high as possible when it comes to his awaken ability. And that's investment known to be true because these champions cost, like Kabam sells these champions at a premium. Like this game, I've said it before, is one of the most expensive games to play. Yes, you can be a free-to-play player, but the experience you're getting and competitiveness that this game has when it comes to those two fields, it's not the same. You might be a free-to-play player, but when you're competing with the top whatever percentage or trying to keep up with the speed of the game, you're gonna have to drop hundreds of dollars a year to thousands of dollars a year, and your experience is gonna be completely different. You're gonna realize that, and so with that, if you're a player that spent thousands of dollars in the game and you get this champion, you rank him up, and next thing you know, he gets nerfed, that doesn't sit well too. You know, it doesn't give you the trust that, hey, well, you know, if Kabam does this on the Serpent, you know, how do I know that they're not going to do this next time around? So if they come out with another defender, why would I invest thousands of dollars into the game and for it to just be tweaked and be nerfed, and my thousands of dollars are only good for like 2-3 months? That's another like situation that I can see kind of Kabam talking about and saying, hey, how do we manage this? You know, do we do the changes? You know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of players. We need the monies. And I've said this before too as well. I've said both. We need top defenders at all times. We need defenders for MCOC to be competitive, to be interesting. And then we need money. The game needs money. I know at the moment I'm not happy with the game at the moment, the way it was treated when it comes to that double crystal, and I'm holding back on my monies towards the game right now. I'm not, you know, but I still am an advocate that you need to buy deals, you need to be buying stuff, you need to be investing your monies into the game, because if you don't, and if you stop, let's say I'm just going through this little dip of like not wanting to buy anything in the game because I feel my wallet really should shout out more than just me making a video about how disappointed and upset I am of how this crystal paid out. You know, I think if I hold back, maybe, I don't know, something, you know, just one player holds back for like maybe a month or so of spending what I normally spend in the game, and or two, you know, I think that would kind of, you know, one player might not have much, but if majority of us are like, hey, yeah, I'm upset too at the fact that the you know, RNG sucks. You know, we know RNG sucks. We know RNG how it works, but sometimes we get caught up in the moment of like, no, I think RNG is going to work out this time. And in reality, you know, it's not a 50-50, man. It's more like 0.50% chance that it's going to work out in your favor. So, you know, these moments like these on the double crystal reminds me of, hey, make sure you don't do RNG stuff for the game anymore. So, you know, crystals, you want to buy some crystals, you want to try to get yourself a 7-star champion with that 0.75 or 0.1%. No, I'm done. For now, I'm done. I'm not doing it. But Kabam needs its money, and if you're not buying these crystals, if you're not buying for this RNG when it comes to this game, the game kind of fizzles out when it comes to the monies. You know, they still have to report, hey, what did we make this month? What did we make this year? And I do believe just using that double crystal, you know, we made some numbers. If like 3,000 people, 4,000 people bought it, they literally made like 300 to 500 if more people bought it, thousands of dollars on one crystal being added into the game. How much do you think they make per champion? So if Kabam loses the trust of the players, of the people that are investing these amount of monies, thousands of dollars into releases of these champions and these defenders, then it becomes a situation where like they're like, dude, okay, now how do we gain the trust again? You know, and this is how you do it. You don't touch the top defenders. Now, I don't know, guys. I'm a little concerned, not just on this, but I'm gonna take it not personal, but you know, one of my favorite animation and champions and its look is the Spider-Punk. Very quickly, just so we know that the Destroyer and the Serpent are not being touched. But when it comes to Spider-Punk, you know, and Prowler, I'm happy with how Prowler is. I don't think he needs any changes, but if he gets buff, that'd be interesting. If he gets nerfed too, that'd be really interesting. The fact that they're nerfing him, I think Kabam is more easier to nerf top attackers than defenders at the moment. I think that's my kind of angle from what I'm seeing at Kabam doing and how they're playing the game. But when it comes to Spider-Punk, man, this is it right here. I hope he gets a little love. I've said it in the live stream. If the marching orders when creating of Spider-Punk were like, hey, just make this guy really good. We're investing a lot of monies and team and effort on the way he looks and his animations, but you know, just give him a nice little attack kit. And if that's kind of like, hey, we don't need him to be at a 9 or 8 or 10 on attack. We just need him to be like, you know, give him a 6, 7. He's not going to be our best attacker this year. And if that's the marching orders and Spider-Punk, that's what he's doing. He's performing exactly the way it was described. If those were the orders that were given when creating Spider-Punk. Now, if Spider-Punk was like, hey, we need to make this guy really strong. He's, you know, he's interesting. He's unique. We're going to put a little bit more on his attack. And we want him to be like at 8 or a 9, you know, maybe not a 10 because for some reason we don't like OP attackers anymore, but we're gonna give him a little bit of a 9, and he's not doing that. And I hope Kabam sees that. I hope they don't just see the 1 or 2 videos and that people are making. I've made videos about how Spider-Punk is really good. I hope they don't just see those. You know, there's a few content creators, you know, maybe like 4 in total that are saying, hey, Spider-Punk is cool. So I hope they don't see those, because then we're never going to get a little bit of buff on Spider-Punk. I want to use him more in Alliance War and in Battlegrounds. And at the moment, even in this meta, he's actually shining in this meta. But overall, in general, he doesn't. He sits on the bench. So it's not worth using your rank up resources, at least if you're wanting to be competitive and wanting to have an edge over your opponent when it comes to your offensive teams. Yeah, so I hope he does. I know we're going to get that information on the back half, so at the end of September. So hopefully that does come out and we do get a little love on him. But going to the Serpent, guys, like I said, money's involved, finances are involved, and also you know, that always is first. Just keep that in mind over anything, whether the feelings, I know feelings of the players are being put into the mix, but always think this is a game, but it's a business first. So if it's 50-50, the enjoyment and business, always lean more on the business. It's going to be like a 60-40, you know? So with decisions and situations, and that's kind of how I see it personally, just in the bigger picture. I don't know, again, without knowing all the facts and all really what's being conversations that are being done in the background. So I don't know that, you know, but, guys, also leave it with this at the end. I know it's emotionally high when it comes to how we feel about the Serpent. It's been now officially a day. So be a little bit more mindful on how you communicate. You know, maybe attacks are not the way to go. But also, looking at Kabam's side, you know, when it comes to like how things are being handled, I do feel that sometimes they feel over there at Kabam that they're never wrong. Yeah, I get it. I'm feeling with you. I see it in the tone. I see it in the way you know, people are talking back to the players. You know, maybe over there people think that everybody on the other side of the keyboard is like a 10-year-old typing away, or they're acting like a 10-year-old. So I don't know, guys. You know, when we don't have that face-to-face interaction or voice-to-voice interaction, where like you know, typically when you deal with a product and you have a company you deal with and you interact saying, hey man, I don't like this, man, I want to return this, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you have you know, sometimes the company on the other end, whoever's unfortunately on that side, like the service team, the customer service team needs to listen to you. They can't just be like, I'm done listening to you. You're offensive and I'm cutting this call. Sometimes, I mean, if you're cussing and stuff like that, yes. But I feel like this is interesting. You know, we're in an interesting time right now where, you know, a lot of it's done through typing and forums and discords and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see how this kind of plays out. But, you know, there's never a day where we don't have a little drama, a little eventful moments inside MCOC. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Well, for now, guys, video's gone long enough. Take care. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I'm done. I am done apologizing. I am done being persecuted for my strength. You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am, because you need me. You need me to save you. You do.